And a pleasant good evening to you and yours, and welcome to the Brevard Sports Network. And it is the holiday season, and we will once again begin to do our in studio student interviews. And we are going to kick off our in studio student interviews this holiday season with girls wrestling. And we have spent, I believe, I feel anyway, have poured a lot of our heart and soul into promoting a lot of sports that don't get a lot of eyeballs. And the last couple of years, we've done it with lacrosse. And for 2025, we really want to put a concentration and focus on wrestling as a whole, especially girls wrestling. And in studio with me today are three sophomore wrestlers from the Melbourne Bulldogs girls wrestling team. And I could not thank their head coach enough for having, listen, I've been under the weather. This thing has been put off several times, and I couldn't be more pleased that everybody was available for a beautiful Sunday afternoon here in Brevard. So I want to thank Aaron Burnely, Coach Aaron. He is the man, and I could not thank him enough. Here with me today and on your screen, from left to right, Izzy Maddox, Christina Nguyen, and Megan Hamant. Ladies, welcome to the Brevard Sports Network. It's an honor to have you in the studio. You are not only the first wrestlers to ever be in our studio, but obviously the first girl wrestlers to ever be in our studio. So let's begin here. I've told everybody your name, so there's no sense in introducing yourself. So tell me, Izzy, why on God's green earth would you want to be a wrestler?
That's a good question. So I know this might sound really weird, but like at one of our tournaments last season, there was this YouTuber, and they were from a different wrestling team, and I used to watch them on YouTube all the time.
Okay.
And I always thought like it would be really cool to wrestle, and then also I saw it on the Minga app, and I was like, I really want to try it.
Now, what's a Minga app? I have to ask what that is.
It's
I'm old.
an app that we use for school
Okay.
to like go to the bathroom.
I got you. All right, makes sense. All right.
And I saw it on there last year, and I really wanted to try it out because it was a new sport. Because I used to do softball, and then I just wanted to try something new. And then ever since I like started doing it, it just like
You fell in love with it?
Yeah, I did.
How about for you, Christina?
Same thing for me. At first, I wanted to do boxing, but then I saw wrestling on the on the Minga app, and I just like thought it was interesting. So when I first joined, I thought it was like really cool, and like I just like slowly started to like love it over time.
We're gonna have to come back and talk about this issue with you wanting to punch people. No, I'm just joking. I'm just kidding. And how about for you, Megan?
It was one day I went to freshman orientation, and this girl, Bryce, she came up to me and she asked me if I wanted to wrestle.
And you just said yes.
Yeah.
Now, I have a question for all of you. Do you all have siblings? Like, we'll start with you. Megan, do you have brothers, sisters?
Yeah, I have an older sister.
Okay, so you have an older sister. How about for you?
I don't have any siblings.
Okay, how about for you, Izzy?
Yes.
Older brother, sister?
Yes. Well, older brother and the younger sister.
Okay.
But
all
I
right.
also have step-siblings too.
Do you all play any other sports? Does anybody play any other sports?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Wrestling is it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the second question I have. Now, I want to start this one with you, Christina. I don't care what football players say. I don't care what soccer players say. Any other sport. There are two sports in particular that abuse their bodies in both training and in the sport, and that's swimming and wrestling. What swimmers and wrestlers do to train is incredible. Tell me about the training regimen and what you like about, because you have to like doing this. Tell me about that.
So what we do in our wrestling is we do a lot of conditioning, and we run a lot. We do like Frankenstein.
Okay, all right. What's a Frankenstein?
A Frankenstein is like where like you kick your leg up. I forgot what they're called. I think they're like static stretches.
That's okay. Go ahead. Coach is going to send me a video of this, but go ahead.
They're like where you like kick your leg up. I don't want to show it, but yeah.
All right. Okay. Megan, how about you? I mean, you know, you put your body through a lot, and that includes eating too. I mean, you have to watch what you eat. I mean, there's weights you have to make, right? I mean, it's not easy to do. Tell me about that.
Well, I mean, I I barrel race on horses, so I'm kind of used to all the work.
You barrel race?
Yeah.
That's cool. We're going to talk about that too. That's
Okay,
awesome.
great.
All right, go ahead. So you just kind of works hand in hand.
Yeah, sort of.
So real quick, and I'm going to ask you, but
Very
I
good.
got to find out about this barrel racing.
I know.
How'd you get into barrel racing?
My mom has been doing it for a long time, so I was
Okay.
kind of just born into it.
And you love it, right?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. That's great. I love that. You make sure you send us pictures
Okay.
of that as well, because we want everybody to see that. All right, Izzy, how about you? What do you love about this training?
I love how like when we like work out, it like pushes me to like do better, and I just like conditioning, because then it knows like you're working your body to a certain limit,
I like.
and like
Yeah.
you can go farther.
No, I do.
And it feels
so
good.
so how do you handle a holiday like Thanksgiving where you have to? I mean, you had a big tournament
Yeah.
over the Thanksgiving holiday, right? I mean, you can't just fill your plate up with everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you handle that? Just got to be careful.
I do portion control, so I limit.
Okay.
Like I don't do a full plate. I do like a little bit of size, like at a time.
What is the thing that okay, pretend I'm a brand new student
Okay.
and I don't know whether I want to wrestle or not. We'll start with you on this one.
Okay.
All right. Convince me, Megan, to be on the girls' wrestling team. Why do I want to be on the girls' wrestling team?
It's fun.
Fun?
It gets you like active, and like it teaches you like self-defense.
Okay. Oh, yeah, we got to talk about the self. Okay. Go ahead. Sell me.
I would say, I mean, it's fun too, but it's also like you get stronger.
Okay.
And so if
mentally and physically,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Wrestling's a mental sport too,
Yes.
right? Tell me about Coach Aaron. Tell me, because he doesn't have an easy job.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, wrestling is not a sport. We're not out in the Midwest where wrestlers fall off trees, both boys and girls,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, tell me about Coach Aaron. Yeah, anybody.
I can. I feel like he's a supporting coach who like will push you to do better and like helps you with like a lot of things.
I'm going to tell you a story about Coach Aaron and how much he loves what he does. And I'm going to take the camera off of you girls just for a minute. And
Okay.
then- so, Coach, I've seen Coach out passing around town schedules, promoting the girls wrestling program at Melbourne. I was doing a volleyball game at Merritt Island one night, and I don't even think they were playing Melbourne. And all of a sudden, there's Coach Aaron there, and we're talking about setting this interview up. This was back in September, August maybe. And so that's how much he's committed, and that's how much he loves the Melbourne girls wrestling program. So I think that's important to point out, because these coaches in any of these sports in Brevard County, and I promise you this, they don't do it for the stipend. I guarantee you that. They do it out of love, and they do it because they want to see student athletes succeed. And Coach Aaron's one of those guys. So, all right, ladies. So I guess let's talk a little bit about the team, and because I want to find out how many weight classes, how many wrestlers do you have on your team? And at this point, anybody can jump in who's comfortable with answering. We don't have to go down we'll go back to that, but I'm just curious about. So, how many wrestlers on the team?
We have, okay, so gotta count.
You got a good amount then.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, so
At least one in every, like, almost every single weight class.
That's outstanding.
Yeah.
That is okay. So tell me about the team. I want to know about your team this year. You just had this tournament. We were talking before we went out on air about you went up against some difficult competition in that tournament. Tell me about your team this year and what the goals and expectations are. Somebody can talk about the goals and somebody can talk about the expectations.
The goals are just to be confident in yourself.
Yeah, and for all of us, every single girl and every single boy to make it to regionals.
We'll
This
make
year.
it to the regionals.
Yes.
I like
Yeah.
that. And is that the expectation level as well?
I would say for expectations for the team, I don't even know. It's just,
One match at a time kind of a thing?
I mean, yeah, but we all have like faith in each other. We're all like motivating each other, and we all kind of just like help each other, and we know what the expectations are, and
Okay.
we kind of like commit to those expectations.
Here's the other thing I want to know. Do you have like I know in football, Melbourne's rival is O'Galley, right? Does that thing exist in wrestling? Do you have like a rival?
I do.
Well, do tell. Do y'all have rivals?
Yeah.
All right. No, not yet.
No,
Okay.
I don't.
Wait.
From O'Galley or
Space Ghost.
Space Coast.
Space Coast? You got a rival from Space
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to
Oh,
mention
yeah.
names, but you have a rival from Space
Yes.
Coast. Where's your rival from?
Space Ghost. too.
Space Coast. There we go. When is the Space Coast match? When's the duel, Coach? Do you know? We'll be there for that one.
I think there is one. I don't
Well, I
even
promise
remember.
you this. Whenever it is, we'll be there for it.
Okay.
Okay? We'll make sure we are there for that match. Now you got me pumped up and ready for this one. I'm ready to go here.
I think
We
she's
are
doing the
here
same
with
with
Izzy
us.
Maddox, Christina Nguyen, and Megan Hamant here from the Melbourne girls wrestling team. How is girls wrestling received amongst your peers? Like, do your friends go, what the hell's wrong with you? Why are you wrestling? Right? I mean, how is it? I'm curious about this. How do your friends receive this?
I don't even know. They
They do not
just
say.
think it's cool.
Do that?
'Cause
That's
some
good. That's what I
people-
want to hear.
Because some people, like when they think about wrestling, they think like something that it's kind of not what it is. And they're
Right.
like, oh, it's too hard. I can't do this. But it's really just you have to set your mind to it, and you have to have goals. And if you don't, then
I would think
You
that
know.
they would think, man, there's some badass girls right
Yeah.
there. You know, they're out there on the wrestling mat, and yeah,
No,
don't
some
mess with
people.
them because I'm
Yeah.
telling you, that's good to know because I was really curious about that. Now I'm sure that there's a level of competition between the boys and the girls, right? Because
Yeah.
the boys, boys are boys, right? I mean, let's be honest about this. But I would imagine how does it work out? Do the boys practice and then the girls practice, or the girls practice? I hope the girls get to practice first.
oh well, during like when we have school, we all practice together.
Okay.
And then like sometimes like on the weekends we'll have like girls and then boys.
Okay.
But
I got you. As a whole, right now, what would you say if I ask you to tell me what one word best describes the Melbourne wrestling program? What would you say? Growing? What would you say?
I would say growing and hardworking.
Okay, I like that. All right, ladies. We found out why you wanted to get into wrestling. We found out why you loved it, why you want to torture yourself and your bodies, okay, to train and wrestle out there. Has there been a moment for you for each of you, and I'm curious, where you were like, yeah, this may not be for me, but you pushed through it? Is there a moment like that?
yes.
Definitely.
Okay,
Yes.
you shook your head right away, Megan. Tell me.
Well, I mean, I barrel race, so sometimes like I go half and half between them. So I really love barrel racing. I've done it all my life. So I always go more towards that than wrestling.
Got
But
you.
lately I've been trying to push myself back into wrestling.
Dedicate yourself a little bit
Yeah.
more. Now, I do have one more question as it pertains to barrel racing, real quick. Just so I've been to plenty of rodeos, so barrel racing is around. Tell me how barrel racing works.
There's 3 barrels and you just go around them.
That's what I thought. Okay,
Yeah.
it's the quickest time, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a cool event. Christina, how about you? Was there a moment where you said, "Yeah, maybe this isn't for me," but you pushed through it?
I don't think I ever have. I think I really do like wrestling.
You just wanted this, and then
Yeah.
this is what. Why did you pick wrestling over boxing?
I just like don't like to punch people. And
There you go. That's a relief. Go ahead. So it's more about the wrestling aspect of it, the technique.
Yeah, it's a technique, and like I just like it's like more like fun.
I
than
got you.
boxing.
Okay. How about for you, Izzy? What was there a moment for you where you said, "Nah," but you know what? You thought about it and said, "Yeah, I'm going to keep going."
I mean, like I never told myself, like, no, wrestling is for me. But I've had moments where, like, sometimes things get hard, but you just have to push through it.
Is
No
there a
matter what
moment you care to share? Or is there a moment where that
Um,
happened, maybe during a match or during a training session? Go ahead.
yeah, I would say definitely like during my matches. Like sometimes I'll think that like I can't do it, but then I just like immediately like have confidence and like my coach tells me or my family, and then it just immediately goes into like, okay, I have to do this, I have to push through. And then when I push through and then I win, it just like it's a big relief, because if you always have doubt in yourself, I feel like you'll never get somewhere. But I feel like if you always have confidence in yourself, I feel like you'll get somewhere.
I think what's true, what the takeaway here is for student athletes is that all three of you are dedicated to this, and I think really people just don't understand the level of dedication it takes to be a wrestler.
Yeah,
And
100%.
it's tough. I mean, there's early mornings, late nights. There's, it's really one of the true sports in high school where you have to be disciplined away from everybody else. You
Yes.
just have to be. I mean, it's just a way. Because if you don't, you let your entire team down, and
Yeah.
you don't want to do that as well. We are here with Izzy Maddox, Christina Nguyen, and Megan Hamant. Ladies, all right. So, what pumps you up, like to get you ready for a match? Take me through your pre-match routine, right? I mean. I want to know what gets the blood boiling, what gets you to look at that opponent and go, "You are mine."
I feel like moving your body around and just going like for a little jog really gets me like pumped up. And also my coach telling me and my teammates telling me that I could really do this, and it just gives me the confidence that I can be able to like beat them and like pin them.
Gotcha. How about for you?
I mean, there's a lot of stuff to it. Like, for one, I do like listening to music.
What is your go-to song that
Song.
that you have
Oh,
to
great.
what is it?
I have no clue.
Just something that gets you going.
Yeah.
How about for
I would
you?
say definitely music.
Is there a go-to song for you, or is there a couple?
There's a couple.
Okay, well, that's a perfect segue to find out about you ladies away from wrestling.
I would
Okay?
say definitely I Hate Everything About You
Uh,
by 3 Days of Grace.
okay. Okay. All right. All right. I like it. Okay. Because you're going to get in that ring, and even though you may know them out of the off the mat,
Yep.
you got to hate everything about them when you get in there, right? And wrestling is also one of these sports where you have to be true sportswomen, right?
You have to
you
respect
have to
your
show
opponent.
true sportswomanship out there as well, correct? Because there's a lot of unwritten rules, so to speak, when it comes to wrestling, shaking an opponent's hand, and when you lose a match, I used to hate this. How tough is it to just? It's tough, and because you just lost, and then you're standing there, and see in the sports I played, they didn't raise the arm of the winner,
Yeah.
and so that would just drive me nuts. So does something like that drive you, ladies? You think that's me next time? They're raising my arm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, it does.
All right, so let's find out a little something about all of you off the floor. And Izzy, we're going to come back to you.
Okay.
So if I picked your phone up right now, what's the most? What's the app where's the fingerprint at the most? What app?
Probably Spotify.
Spotify?
Yeah.
Have we ever had anybody say Spotify? No. Tell me why Spotify.
Because I love music.
Okay. What genres of music? What do you like to listen to?
All of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Old music too, or
Not old music.
Not old music. Okay.
like
rap, country,
Yeah,
all of
country.
it.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a favorite song or artist or
No.
no? Just you listen to anything.
Yeah.
Well, how about for you, Christina? If I picked up your phone, what app are you on the most?
I feel like I'd be on TikTok the most.
Okay. Now, who's your favorite influencer on TikTok?
I don't have a favorite influencer, but if I did, it would probably be like one of like a famous wrestler or something.
Okay. Okay. How about for you, Megan? Do they have a barrel racing app?
Sort of, but not really.
Okay, go ahead. So, what's your favorite app?
Either Spotify or Netflix.
Okay. All right. Spotify or Netflix. What are you watching right now on Netflix? What series you watching?
Friday Night Lights.
Okay. That's a good series.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the movie?
No.
You got to watch the movie. The movie's pretty good, too.
I was gonna say YouTube too.
YouTube as well. Yeah, listen.
I love
there-
YouTube.
YouTube. Earlier today, I lost the internet on my TV, and I really went into a deep state of panic because with no YouTube, I can't function. It's
Yeah.
just the way.
I always watch YouTube.
So, what do we like to eat? Like, if there were no limitations as to what you could eat, what's your favorite food? If I said to you right now, you get to pick dinner tonight, where are you going?
A buffet.
Really?
I
Which?
love
Where is there a good buffet in Brevard?
Crystal's buffet, Young's buffet,
Where's this Crystals?
off of New Haven.
You remember that? All right. We're looking for a good buffet. Been looking for a good buffet.
I love buffets.
What's your go-to at this buffet? Like the first time you grab your plate, you're heading up to the buffet. You, Izzy, are putting what on your plate?
General Tso's chicken.
There you go. How about for you? What's your go-to? What's your favorite dish?
I like pastas.
Okay.
I like Alfredo pastas and like mac and cheese.
Do you have a favorite restaurant? Like I could see you at like an Olive Garden.
Yeah, I do like all of them.
You do. The
Yeah.
endless salad, the breadsticks. It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
No doubt. How about for you, Megan? You got to go to. You have a good barrel race. You get to pick anywhere you want to go for dinner. Where are you going?
Barbecue.
Barbecue. You got a favorite Kreiderman's or you have a favorite barbecue place?
Dustin's.
Dustin's. Where's Dustin's?
Off of Wickham. Right?
Waffle. Okay. Yes. I know where it is now. Well, now that I'm hungry, tell me about Megan. We'll start with you. How do you relax? You know, you're into a lot. You school, and we're going to talk about school because I want to know what kind of students you are as well. How do you relax? I mean, how do you get away from barrel racing, parents, all of it? How do you get away?
Music.
Music? You just put the earbuds in and
Yeah.
lay your head on the pillow and go away.
Yep.
I got you. How about for you, Christina?
I like to go shopping. I like to get my nails done.
Okay, where's your favorite place to shop?
The mall.
Okay, you just go to the mall and you're walking around and you're in this store and out of that store.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. Are you a deal shopper? Like, were you out? Well, you had a tournament, so you couldn't be out on Black Friday, right? Oh, okay. All right. How about for you? How do you get away, Izzy?
I have two. I usually listen to music or I watch crime shows.
Okay.
In my
Crime
bed.
shows.
In my bed, yeah.
What's your favorite kind of crime? What do you have a favorite crime show? Or do you go on YouTube like I do and
usually-
watch all these? You know, you get those guys with those really cool voices telling those stories.
Yeah, YouTube, or usually YouTube or Peacock.
Peacock.
Yeah.
I've never seen. Okay, I'll have to check Peacock out. See what you learn by talking to today's student athletes. All right, let's get serious about school. Izzy, what do you like to study? And if I ask you to tell me what kind of a student you are, what would you tell me?
I would say I'm a pretty good, hardworking student. Usually, I kind of like history. It's pretty, like I used to not like it, but I've gotten really good at it. So,
Okay, so you're a sophomore, so
Yes.
you are the class of 27, right?
yes.
So where do you see yourself in the fall of 2027? In other words, you're done with high school. Where do you want to be then?
Law enforcement.
Okay, so that's what you want to do as a
Yes.
career.
Yes.
Well, I think you're off to a great start with this wrestling thing. So yes, for sure. Is there like a police officer or something else?
Just a police officer.
Police officer.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then work my
Serve
way up.
and protect. I like that. Christina, how about what kind of a student are you, and what do you like to study?
I like to study history, and I also like reading. And,
What do you like to read?
I like to read like horror books.
Okay. Do you have a favorite author?
No, I
No.
don't.
You just, yeah. Okay. So are you like me, where you actually read, or do you cheat like I do and listen to Audible?
I would probably listen.
I like it. But listen, I always say I've read more books on Audible than I would have if they have never created that app. I'm far more educated because of Audible. How about you, Megan?
I like health sciences.
What's that?
I like health sciences.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry, I wanted to ask you this question, and let's go back to Christina. College, what do you want to do later in life?
I want to go to law school and I want to be a lawyer.
What type of a lawyer do you know, or you just general law practice?
I want to be criminal justice lawyer.
Okay. All right. Do you want to be a prosecutor or a defense attorney?
Defense attorney.
Okay. There's always going to be good money in defense attorney. So good for you. How about you, Megan? What do you want to be?
Engineering.
Engineering. You are in the right place for that. With great schools here locally, Florida Tech, and of the such. Ladies, as we get set to wrap this thing up, I cannot thank you enough for coming in here, especially on a Sunday, on a holiday weekend. We're not quite done yet. I want you to I'm going to give you the floor, each of you the floor. Take a minute, and I ask you to tell me why I needed to be a wrestler, right? I want you to just let everybody know just how great of a sport it is and why they need to be watching. What would you say? Anybody?
For me personally,
Why do we need to put this on? Why should people watch this on Brevard Sports Network?
Because it's a great sport. It gets you to be active, and it's also for like your mental and physical. Like, I feel like if you're going through tough times, you could just go to wrestling and you'll be like great afterwards. So it really gets you to like focus, and wrestling has really helped me a lot over the past. So I would say it definitely like helps people who have struggled, and it definitely gets them in a better mindset. For me.
Listen, Christina, I'm not going to ask you to answer the same question because I think she did a terrific job with that. But what I will ask you is, tell me something about your team that we should know, because we're going to come broadcast that match, that duel with Space Ghost. Okay, so tell me something we need to know about your team right now.
I feel like everyone on our team is really good, and we're growing, and we're doing like a great job.
Megan, the final question will go to you. Sum up this, the wrestling, all of it, school, what it means in the scheme of things, and how people should view this.
And it's hard work. You have school, and then straight after school, you go into the locker room, and then you have practice. And when I get home, it's studying and horses, and then you just repeat it 5 days a week.
It's not for the weak-minded, is it? And I don't mean to criticize it, and I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if you're not, this is mental and physical, and people need to understand that. It's just not get out there and throw somebody on a mat, and if that's not your thing, that's fine. Or if sports aren't your thing, that's fine, But I believe, students should be active. I commend you, ladies. I do, because I think this is brave, because you are a part of something new, because this is still very new.
Yeah.
And it's, in this state, in this county, in your school. So you are part of a beginning of pioneers to do this. And I commend you on this. I do. And I think it takes a lot. As you just said, it's after school. I mean, who wants to leave wrestling practice after all the physical activity and mental, push that you've gone through, and go home and have to sit down and do homework? But you do. Yeah. But you have to do it, right?
5 days a week.
Ladies, I can't thank you enough for your time here today. And I appreciate you. And we will see you on the mat.
Yes.
Against Space Coast. All right?
All right.
All right. So, again, I want to thank Coach Aaron for bringing the ladies in, and the parents are here as well, a full studio audience today. And it's been terrific. And I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about the psyche, the mentality. Again, and, don't take offense to when I say weak-minded. I don't mean, I'm not trying to criticize anybody, but this is a sport like this, and what you put your mind and your body through. It takes a lot. It really does. And these ladies, I commend them. I do. And I'm so glad that they were here today. Stay tuned. Coming up, we're going to sit here and talk to Coach Aaron for a couple of minutes. And so for Elizabeth Maddox, Izzy Maddox, Christina Nguyen, and Megan Hamant, I'm Alan Slaughter-Zinski for the Brevard Sports Network. All right, welcome back here to Brevard Sports Network as we continue with the Melbourne girls wrestling team. And now we are, I tell you what, great girls. Again, Izzy Maddox, Christina Nguyen, and Megan Hamant. And now we're with Coach Aaron Burnely.
Yes.
And Coach, first of all, welcome to Brevard Sports Network.
Thank you for
and
having me.
it's always a pleasure to have you here. Those are three really cool girls, man.
They are the returning girls, yes.
Tell me about how hard it has been to. How do you promote girls wrestling? How do you stock a roster for girls wrestling? Because I would imagine it's not easy.
No, but the Bulldog community is fantastic. Top down. The administration has been totally behind the program. The faculty has been behind it. The athletic department has been totally behind it. When you start with a foundation with that much support, you just have to start brainstorming on, hey, have we thought about this? Have we tried this? What do you think about this? How can we get the word out with, X, Y, and Z, fill in the blank?
Right.
And like I said, every aspect has been, yeah, how about you try that? Yeah, do that. Yeah, no, that sounds great.
No pushback.
There's been no pushback. Absolutely no pushback. Everything has been great. What we did is we just set up during freshman orientation, talked to all the kids that came through. Once we started the first week of school, the PE department let me come in and talk to each of their classes for about 5 minutes because they were in that first week of handing out uniforms, handing out lockers, so they weren't really getting deep into the curriculum yet.
Right.
So it was a little bit of a dead period towards the end of that first week of school.
Gotcha.
And they allowed me to come in and talk to their kids for about 5 minutes, and I explained what wrestling was, what it could offer them, and another one that was really awesome was the ROTC program.
Okay.
They allowed me that first week as well to get in front of each of their classrooms just for about 2 minutes. Boom, right after roll call, and I just explained to them what we could offer.
I tell you what, I love Chad Raymond. I think he does a terrific job stepping in and having never been an athletic director before.
Yes, sir.
What he has done has been incredible there. And, Melbourne is always Melbourne, but, he really gave it a nice boost. And, Coach, talk about the wrestling in the state of Florida, girls wrestling. Because I think it became an official. When did it become an official sport? Girls wrestling. I think it was a couple of years ago. Hadn't been forever.
No, it hasn't been.
And so,
at one point, wrestling was even taken out of the Olympics.
Right.
And it was,
which is crazy.
And it was women's wrestling that helped revive this sport in this country and get it back. And it was women. It was women's wrestling that really, really push that thing forward.
As I look at wrestling, I love the coverage like sites, provide, and you're starting to see more and more and more sites with a boys and a girls column, which I love.
Yes, sir.
Because I think, it's always been hard for us to cover it because a lot of times you can't find girls' results but that's not the case anymore. And even like I'm here on the FHSAA site right now, and I'm looking. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so there it is, wrestling, and that's weightlifting. Yeah, so I mean, it's right here, and it runs. You know, you got the duals championships, the IBT championships. All right, coach, let's talk about your team this year. Um, they seem feisty. Talk about them.
They are.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, they are. They are a feisty group, and I couldn't be any prouder.
I loved when I asked a question about the rivals. Right away, they knew. They knew who they wanted to wrestle, you know. So I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. I didn't know that going into the season.
Oh, really?
No, sir. So it was, it was eye opening when you got these girls saying what their goal is. I said, okay,
Yeah,
let's go with that.
And they really, you know, they really popped up, you know, and they got smiles on their faces. I thought it was who is
And over there at Space Coast, I tell you, it's going to be a great duel.
Yeah.
That is going to be the 22nd of January. They're going to be hosting their senior night, and it's going to be both boys and girls. It's going to be a great event, and even cooler than that is Space Coast is hosting that first weekend of February. I believe it's the first. They're hosting a girls' duel tournament. And there's
Okay.
going to be, and so to do that,
That's awesome.
Correct. Yeah. So what they have going over there is great. They have an awesome program. They have the leadership. They have the members. They have the kids. It's great over there. Space Coast has a quality program, and we couldn't be happier to be joining them for that dual tournament.
Help educate us about girls wrestling here locally and in the state. So if I said to you, who were some of the already developing girls powerhouses in the county, who would it be?
When it comes to the county, there's going to be some really great individual girls on every roster. There are some very, very, very talented young ladies in this county. As a entire school, though, an entire team, again, it's really tough to fill out that entire bracket to where you can have a very competitive team.
Gotcha.
So that still is developing. It's still building. But I'd have to say, we have a full team. My counterparts over at Vieira, at Space Coast, I know they have full teams as well. So
that's the key, really, in
Yes, sir.
having a full team.
It is. It absolutely is. Because you can't just go in there giving up 6 points in a duel just because you don't have a warm body to be in there. So we have to stay competitive.
What about from a perspective of the state? Who's everybody gun for there?
Well, Miami South Dade area.
Down in that area, still same, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Matanzas has some quality girls.
Gotcha.
Gosh, I will tell you though, when you win the state championship in Florida for girls wrestling, you are the true state champion. There's no 3A, 2A, 1A. It is all one.
Everybody's together.
Absolutely. The small
like
schools,
the old days.
Like the old days. Middle, the smaller schools, the bigger school, the ones in the middle. You are the true state champion of that entire state, and that's awesome for these ladies.
I asked the girls to do this, so I'm going to ask you to do this.
Talk to me, Goose.
I want you to know. I like that. He called me off guard. I don't know what the hell to say now. So, Maverick.
Yeah.
Tell me why I need to come wrestle. Why is wrestling going to be, I'm on the fence. You know what? Coach Aaron, I don't know. Maybe I want to, I don't know. I thought about playing a sport, but why should I wrestle?
That's a great question. Me, I was a little guy. I was little compared to my peers. Well, I think I was the tall kid in class until second grade. I think it was a tall kid.
I
But
got
after
you.
that,
I
everybody
got you.
took off, and I never had any growing pains, so I barely even grew past second grade. But it is what it is. But what the great thing about wrestling is you go up against people your own size.
Right.
First and foremost, you go up against people your own size. There is no one else that you can rely on but yourself. There is no one that you can blame but
yourself
So every failure
is yours.
is yours and welcomed, in my opinion, and every victory is yours and welcomed as well. I'll be retiring from the Air Force in a few months. 20 years of the Air Force. Any time that I had trials, tribulations, roadblocks, hurdles, what have you, I could go back to when I was young and what pushed me in wrestling to be able to come back, stay grounded, and persevere.
I think that's just a great explanation, and I'd run through a wall for you, Coach, just so you know. All right, so I guess I don't want to do a long interview with you because I want people to watch this entire thing with the girls and you. So I
Absolutely.
guess to wrap this thing up,
We could do a monthly thing. We could do a monthly podcast.
I think you need to, and we can do that video too, so that way you don't have to come all the way up here, and I can just send you a link and we can connect up. But I think we should do that so that you can keep us up to date on what's going on in girls wrestling around the county as well.
Let's get crazy with the cheese whiz.
I think if we're going, there he goes again. I think if we're going to promote this and do this the right way, that's the way to do it. Coach, I can't thank you enough. Again, I said in the girls' interview how this interview happened today because of that man there. It is not something, and to my guilt, it is not something I would have sought out. We do a lot, and it's never enough. That's for sure. I promise you, we always want to do more. But this man approached me and he asked me, and I was just thrilled that we could do this today. And Coach, thank you so much. I appreciate you, man.
Absolutely. No, it's been a pleasure. There was a couple coaches around that was saying, you might want to check out this program at Melbourne and see where you fit in. Because honestly, I was just trying to get in where I fit in and just seeing where
seems like a girls love you. Seems like a great fit.
Well, like I said, it just the whole thing, the boys, the girls, the whole program, it is a good fit. I'm finding that the guys around town, like I said, Space Coast has a great program, Vieira has a great program, Graham over at Merritt Island, Clay Folsom, and taking over that program over there at Bayside, and the girls program over there is strong, is new, but they got lots of numbers. Coach Chris Kelly over at Cocoa Beach. I mean, everything. This is a great community.
Growing.
It is. It's a great community. Hate to not mention anybody's name, but
tough.
This is really great program, and we're excited. Our girls are excited. The sport is growing. We're more than happy to just keep this thing going. Absolutely.
I couldn't be happier for you because I know what you put into this. Again, we talked about it earlier. These guys and these guys and girls, these women and men, they don't do it for the stipends. That I guarantee you. But they do it out of love. And Coach Aaron Burnely loves his program, and I want to thank Caleb for getting this set up, because if you've ever been here, this is a small space, and we pulled it off, and Caleb does a good job of doing that. So for Caleb Brown, for Coach Aaron Burnely, I'm Alan Slaughter-Zinski for the Brevard Sports Network.